And here we are in 2020, amidst COVID-19 and also recessionary times with major market losses. Really, what people have to be aware of is how they get access to cash and cash management when it comes to cash flow. In June of 1998 is when I started my financial career, entering into 2000 and 2002, which we saw a recession, 2008 to 2010, where we saw a recession, and here we are in 2020, amidst COVID-19 and also recessionary times with major market losses. And here's the opportunity. First, the Paycheck Protection Program, the PPP. This is 2.5 times your monthly payroll costs for a year, up to $10 million. It includes deferral and loan forgiveness. What that means is, if you use this for certain items, you don't have to pay it back. It also doesn't require a good credit score. Another thing out there is net operating losses. Normally, we have kind of limitations on how far back you can go, and even limitations on the percentage that you can take, capped out at 80%. Now you can go back 2 more years, going all the way back to 2015, and if you're having losses or you're down this year, you can even get more write-offs. And by going back and doing the amendments, you can have money come back into your pocket. We just had someone get $1 million refund through this. Now that's obviously extreme, but before this, they were gonna get $70,000, which was exciting, but now there's even more. The next is the SBA Economic Injury and Disaster Loan, EIDL. It's up to $2 million and a $10,000 advance if you check the right box. There's also the Family First Coronavirus Response Act. You can get up to $511 a day credited back on your self-employment tax. There's now the Employee Retention Credit of up to $5,000 per employee that can come back to you. Plus, there's tax credits to fund paid sick leave for your employees. There's also individuals and families that have rebate offers, access to qualified plans, there's required minimum distribution changes for retirement plans, and even additional benefits for charitable deductions. See, this is ways that you can access $100,000 from a retirement plan without the 10% penalty and be able to spread that out over 3 years as far as when you actually pay the tax. There's a lot more stuff on the way. I even believe there's gonna be another act. What's the problem here though? This is super complicated. There's a lot of people that they're like, where do I even start? And so much of this is administered through private institutions. Banks already have warnings that wait times are forever. And as a matter of fact, some banks, even though they're approved, have chosen not to participate. So the infrastructure is not really built to handle this. Chase just sent a note to customers saying they won't have applications even ready yet. See, this is a Band-Aid stopgap measure. That's the best it's going to be. It's not going to save your business, but it can help you get needed capital and help you to manage your cash flow. So what's the solution? We've rounded up the very best experts that have been reading, researching, and analyzing everything and anything to deliver this information and the instructions. And they're not just CPAs, these are elite wealth management specialists, right? There are other ways you can access money right now too. There's ways you could be restructuring your existing loans to lower interest rates. There's even ways you could refinance a car and get access to capital that most people have even thought about that you can get within 24 hours. Or even how you can tap into lines of credit, because if you don't, they're likely to go away. So this isn't just about filling out forms. It's about having the right tools, strategies, and relationships, including the right banks and bankers, because that is a huge difference. The right accountants, and especially the right tax strategists, because the net operating losses, that's going to be a game changer. So you got to know which one of these to apply for, and you've got to get in quickly. Well, the big reason why it's important to act on this is because there is accelerated tax help. And this isn't welfare, right? This is simply tax help. This is just a tool for business owners to use. And if you use every tool available, you've got a better chance for your business to make it to the other side, and there's massive opportunity there as well. So how can you get capital, and how can you infuse more cash into your life right now? If you get that, you can focus on what's most important. Maybe that's keeping your employees. Maybe that's making sure that you're really getting clear about the vision and reimagining what your business is going to be on the other side of this. And it helps give you control of your situation. What's going to help is having the right relationships, right? When you have the right relationships and you have access to money, that's even going to lead to less stress. We see all these people that are quarantined right now. We're hearing about more people fighting with their spouse, frustrated because now they're homeschooling and they're not used to that. And so their kids are around all the time. They've got employees that are worried and wondering, hey, are we going to be okay? Are we going to make it? Should I renew my lease on my apartment? Or I was thinking about buying a home. And ultimately, you've got creditors. And if you do this right, you'll be able to manage that properly, which is going to allow you to stay productive. I want to make sure you can accomplish all of the goals with your business with as little of a detour as possible. This is disrupting pretty much everyone. Now, I've got friends and business owners that are in the supplement business or with certain online businesses that they've seen growth. But the overwhelming majority of people are actually kind of struggling right now. So those who act now are absolutely going to win, especially considering there's a massive opportunity on the other side of this. There's going to be people that don't have access to capital, that are really struggling, and you might be able to bail them out if you do the right things for your business that could really help with your mission, your vision, and overall with your profitability. Businesses are going to be on sale. Employees are going to be available that weren't even hireable before because they love their job. And some of those businesses that aren't watching this, that aren't taking the right actions, are going to learn a very, very tough lesson. So what's the opportunity? Well, there's 3 IRS notices that have come out and 3 acts with at least one more to come. So what's the basics? It begins with a tax deadline extension to July 15th. You don't have to go file for that. It's just automatic. And so it's also, if you are paying quarterlies and those estimations as a business, you can also move those so that you can hold on to that very, very important capital and cash right now. So it's super important to have some cash built up so that you can survive, because we don't know what COVID-19 is going to do, how long it's going to last, what the quarantines are going to look like, and a number of those factors, obviously. So let's take a deeper dive into just a few of these topics. Let's begin with net operating losses. Net operating losses can carry back for 5 years. Why this is important is because in 2017, when there was new tax legislation that came out, well, it made it that you couldn't quite write off as much with your net operating loss. It was capped out at 80%, and you can only go back 3 years. There's also alternative minimum tax. So there's just a lot of money that people are having to push forward, and they could go for 20 years forward. But right now, if you can go back, you can get a rebate, you can get a refund. So that's 5 years you can now go back in the CARES Act, all the way back to 2015. And if you had any higher income years during that time, and this year you're having less income or operating losses, you can go back and apply it and get a refund check back into your pocket. This changes so many factors, right? So let me give you just a few basics on the nuts and bolts. You've got to figure out your net operating loss for the current year. You can apply the net operating loss to a previous year. You can then file an amended return and get a refund. So in lieu of filing an amended corporate return, taxpayers can file Form 1139/1045 to request a tentative refund. The deadline is extended to 120 days after the act was passed. So if its old deadline was April 15th, the new deadline is late July or August. So there's things like R&D credits as one example. R&D credit could be that you've got technology that you've developed in the last 5 years and you did it here domestically in the United States. Maybe it was an app, maybe it was a website, maybe it was a CRM that you adjusted or did something to. You can go back and get those credits, but those were limited. Now that cap has been taken off, and if you missed R&D credits, this could be a huge thing for you. Or domestic production credits, known as Section 199. You can go back and get those. This, for me, got money back, and now I'll be able to get even more money back because of the new rules with the net operating loss. So there's things that people have overpaid and they just didn't look back, and there's things that were capped out. When we combine these two things, this can absolutely be a lot of money for you. So we have experts in our accredited network Elite, and they put together an entire package for you. This includes the tools to know what to do and guidance on everything you need to take full advantage of the Families First Coronavirus Response Act, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program, the Paycheck Protection Program, the Employee Retention Credit, the net operating losses that I just covered, and there's a lot for individuals and families like rebates, qualified plan rules, required minimum distributions, and additional charitable deductions benefits that you can have. We'll walk you through all the details, like how to qualify, the forms to file, the deadlines to meet, the correct order to apply, which things you can apply for and do multiple, or which ones exclude another thing so that you know which ones most benefit you. So it's important to know the rules to follow. And there's also caveats to avoid getting in trouble with the IRS. That's critical. We're going to give you inside tips to maximizing the amount of money you'll be able to get back. The entire program retails for $1,000, but we've got to help people. We're in this together. We're making two of the most useful parts available to you at a reduced investment. So order right now and you'll get how to navigate the Paycheck Protection Program. You can get up to $10 million for that. That's for businesses with 500 employees or less. And how to maximize the net operating loss carryback. This is a potential to recoup 100% of past taxes going back 5 years. and you'll be able to figure out which year gives you the very best results. There's also potential to get $10,000 to $1 million back from the IRS without even filing an amendment. All of this for one small investment of $97. Plus, we're going to throw in dozens more tax guides and resources from our popular $1,000 tax cut program. These guides will help you maximize your tax savings right now, like how you can hire your kids, because especially during this time of quarantine where they're home, you can pay them, that's tax-free to them but fully tax deductible to you, and by the way, you control those accounts. Or how to make sure you can set up your home office correctly so you can take home office deduction, or you can use the Augusta rule during quarantine and create 14 tax deductible days, putting more money in your pocket for the use of your home. These guides can help you in shaving your tax bill in future years through really good tax planning. Plus, another bonus is every single week, I'm going to do a Q&A, and it's going to be through the end of June. You can type in your questions, it'll be live, and I'll answer those questions. This isn't meant to replace your current CPA or tax team. What it is meant to do is partner with your existing team, because we're including so many bonuses and talking points that you can share with that tax team. We're giving you email templates to engage your CPA about getting the proper forms filed for you. We've got our experts walking through how to exactly fill out the form so you know precisely what to do, because it's a bit confusing out there. And if you aren't getting the help you need, we can get you hooked up with our experts in our network. Okay. So this is $97 investment. You're going to get the net operating losses and figure out what to do there. I think that's going to be massive for so many people. You're also going to figure out the PPP, right? The Payment Protection Program, so that you can make sure that you've got that money coming back to you so that you can get through these times, and some of that can be absolutely forgiven, and it's not something you have to pay back if it's used for things like payroll and commissions and health insurance and all those kind of things. So we'll teach you how to navigate that, but this is absolutely urgent. The CARES Act has some time-based provisions, and really, once the money's gone, the money's gone. So the sooner you act, the better. Our accredited network experts are the best in this, right? So you can go ahead and order, only $97, and even comes with a full 100% money-back guarantee, so you can't lose. Your business is worth fighting for. This can help you get the most of the money that you deserve with all these acts that are out there, so I'll see you on the inside.